Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I'm so glad you're here, and I see so many of you have hopped on already. Thanks for commenting. I always love seeing my people on here. So let me just scroll down the line here and say hi to all of you. Okay, I see Ellen. Hello. Patricia, good morning. Linda, hello. Lee, okay, does that mean, Linda, does that mean you go by Lee? Um, Kristen, good morning. Kristen, okay, two Kristens right after each other. So, Kristen Watson, Kristen Brown, welcome to both of you. Deborah Cook, hello. Hello, Nima. Jane is on. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Diana. Two Dianas next to each other too. Did you guys plan this? Diane and Diana, good to have you on. Rebecca, hello. Simone, hello. Carol and Sandy. Jeannie, hello. You know what? I'm having to get up closer and closer to the screen. What does that mean, you guys? What does that mean? Is it time for new glasses? I already have trifocals, so. Hello, Tony and Carol from Missouri. Good to have you on. Hello, Terry. Jane says, love your shirt. You know what? It's a flowery kind of day. And usually I'm pretty like neutral. So, this is a big change for me, something florally. But thank you for noticing. Marianne, hello. Greetings from Ontario. She says, Debbie, good morning. Elizabeth, good morning. A ray of sunshine on this rainy day in Florida. Wow, that's a new. Although in Florida, it doesn't rain all day probably like it does here. When it starts raining here, it literally rains all day. So usually, I mean, this is my understanding because I've never lived there, but you get these big water bombs that last for a few minutes and then they clear up and then you just have humidity the rest of the day and hot. Let's see, who else is on? Sharon, good morning from hot Colorado. Oh, wow. It's going to be hot here today, too. Let's see, Linda from Chico. Hello. Tony, good morning. Linda from Wisconsin. Val, hello from Edmonton. Marilee, good morning from Vancouver. Sherry Sands, hello Sherry, good to have you on. Barbara, happy 4th. Happy 4th to all of you. It's coming up. Let's see, Phil is on, you guys. You'll have to give him a shout out. Irene from Oklahoma. Kathy, yes, she says prayer for Ruth Ann today. She has suffered a stroke this morning. Just heard that. And so, yes, please continue to pray for Ruth Ann. You know how special she is to all of us. We just all love her so much. So we will be holding her up in prayer for sure. Elizabeth says, okay, you are right. With the rain usually, but today and a lot of rain. We definitely need it though. Good. Okay, so that's a good thing. Elaine from Albany, hello. And Barb from Michigan. Yes, prayers for Ruth Ann, you guys. Boy, keep her in your prayers. I believe she is in the hospital right now, so I'm sure we'll be getting some updates on her. But we just all love her so much. Let's see, Consuelo is on. Joy, hello. You guys, this is so great that you're on today. So this is a new release. And those of you who were on yesterday on Bible journaling, you saw some of this already. But there are a lot of people who are on today and haven't checked out those tutorials for yesterday. So I'm going to go over all the new releases. There are a lot of things that are being released today. So I'm going to go over all of those things one at a time and show you how they work. And then we're going to actually make 2 projects. The big thing today is the gold paint, and it's actually gold ink, but I call it paint because it's not like gold ink, like a gold pen. So this actually has gold fleck in it, and it is the coolest thing you've ever used. It has a beautiful shimmer. It's so different from anything out there. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't fade, and it is so cool. So it will just dress up your projects. You're gonna have so much fun using this. So we're gonna use it. I'm gonna show you how to apply it. It's super easy. You'll be shocked at how easy it is to apply. So we're gonna do that today, as well as a couple of other projects. So we're gonna get to everything that's new. So let's see if I have missed anyone on here. Let's see. Barbara says she's watching on her TV in her craft room. Perfect place to be with us. Perfect. Let's see. Barbara says prayed for Ruth Ann. Yes, she will appreciate all of our prayers. You know, she is a prayer warrior, and that means more to her than anything that we are praying for her. Mary Ann says, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Would love to win whatever you make today. Absolutely. You will be in the drawing. 100%. Let's see. Prayer sent. You guys, this means so much to her. And if she's able, she will be on today, I'm sure. And if she isn't able to comment, she will be seeing the comments, or people will be reading the comments to her, because we're her people. And she loves all of us so much. Okay, Peggy, hello. She says, here at last, the place I love to be on Wednesday mornings. We love having you, Peggy. We love being together. This is such a fun day. It's fun every week. You know, it's really fun to have new things to show you guys, especially when it's something super, super cool like this gold paint. And it's really fun to show it to you and help you to elevate your art. But it's just fun to be together. It's fun to be on here. It's fun to see your comments. And I know there are a lot of people on that are not commenters. I would probably be one of those people. I would be the one stalking in the background, just watching and listening to what people are saying and checking out the new products and just seeing what people are making. That would be me. So I get you people. I get all of you. It is, but here are the extroverts, and they're out here and they are commenting. And as an introvert, it means a lot to me. So thank you guys all for being on with me. I always appreciate it so much. And it's just fun to see your names on here. Let's see. Oh, and you know what? I'm missing comments right and left. So let's see. Gabriella, oh, she says, hugs to you and Kendra. Peg says, just finished my fairy journal. Oh, my word. Are you serious? Well, okay, how fun was it? Because I think the fairy journal might have been my funnest one, other than this Christmas one this last year. And it's time for another one, you guys. I haven't made one in a long time. There's just not enough hours in the day, but I'm going to make another one. The journaling for me is not over. I have not made my last journal. So for sure, they're just so much fun. And sometimes you can't get to them for a long time. So it's okay. It's okay. So curious to know how fun that was for you and how long it took you. Let's see. Sandy says, yes, praying for Ruth Ann. A new grandbaby, Sherry Sands, a new grandbaby was born last night at 10:30. Congratulations. Nothing like being a grandparent. It's the best. We literally talk about it every day. Literally, Phil and I talk about our grandkids, how special they are. Of course, you know, this sun rises and sets over them. And they are the world to us. They really are. So I get it. Let's see, who have I missed here? Couldn't find you on Facebook this morning. You know, we had some problems with Facebook yesterday, so I believe it is up and running. Looks like it is. And my tech person, Joel, is here. So if there is an emergency, he will be here. He wasn't here yesterday, so I was just floundering. Everybody just jumped over to YouTube. So if you're having any glitches with Facebook, hop on over to YouTube. Really nice that we're streaming there. Should be good on Facebook, he's saying. We're all good to go. Okay, let's see. You guys, all right. I see a lot of 2 weeks, Peg said. Actually, I have had journals that take that long. I really have. But, you know, there's something really, it feels good to finish them because it's an accomplishment and it's a one-of-a-kind thing. You know, it is a special thing for a special person that, you know, you'll probably never make another one like that one. So you might make another one, but it will be a little bit different. Everything about it will be just a little bit different. Okay, Teresa is on her way to the airport. Heading to Newfoundland. Oh my goodness. Wow, Teresa, how fun. Tell us what you're doing in Newfoundland. Visiting family or going on vacation? What are you doing there? Okay, Tina, hello from Cincinnati. Okay, back to YouTube. Facebook is too glitchy for her. Okay, so keep that in mind, you guys. If it's glitchy, sometimes it is for different people. Maybe it's fine streaming from here, but if you're having any issues, just switch over. Okay, are you guys ready to get to it? Let's get to our project today. I am going to switch over my camera. And we're going to be getting to all of these new things that we have. So I'm going to, for now, move everything over. And I'm going to just show you really quickly this gold paint and what it does. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing some projects with it. And then I'm going to show you how to apply it. But this is what it is. It's Winsor Newton. It's gold paint. And, oh, I call it gold paint. It's actually officially, I think it's actually called gold ink. But the difference is the gold fleck that's in it. And because it has this gold fleck in it, you have to shake it. Like literally, this will be good exercise for your arms. Every time you use it, you have got to shake it, and at least 20 or 30 times, like literally. And then when you open it, you can see the gold on top of the surface. And that's what you're grabbing with your brush. So you're applying this with your brush, just like we use our brush, same brush that we use for everything else that we do. So same brush. So here's what it looks like. And you can see how it will just kind of settle on the bottom of your jar. But this little jar will last you forever because you're not using very much of it at all. So shake it up, and then we're gonna use it. We're gonna use it later. So here's what it does, and I hope that if I turn it the right way, you can see the shimmer. This is different than a gold pen. This is totally different than any kind of glitter paint, anything like that. It has a shimmer that is absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but it will just add a little extra to your projects. So you can see this one with this little square frame. And it is just, it's so pretty. Teresa says, can't wait to get some of this paint. You will absolutely love this. Linda says, these are must-haves, just saying. Thanks, Linda. Thank you. Yes, it's called drying ink. Yes, thank you, Leah. Leah to the rescue always. And see this one. Look how cute this is. So you can do these simple little watercolors. You can put a simple little message inside, and you can create a card with this gold frame. You can also paint it onto your art. You can paint it onto florals, leaves, you can do spatters. Lots of things with it, but it is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And if you saw it in person, you would just absolutely be in shock. I was when I first got it, and I saw it, an artist was using it, and I should have written it down, but it was one of those things that I just kind of glanced through, and I saw her using this gold ink, and I'm always on the lookout for things like this that, something that is just a little bit different, but it has to be really simple to use, and it has to be water-based. And a lot of these gold inks are not water-based, and so they're hard to get off of your brush, and it could wreck your stamp. So we have to have things that are water-based for what we're doing and this type of art. So I'm always on the hunt for things like that. So I saw this artist using it, and I looked in the comments thinking, I wonder if somebody asked her what it was, because it didn't show on her little reel or whatever it was that she was doing. So somebody asked her, and she responded, and I found it on Amazon, but it was a larger container and super expensive, really, really expensive, 3 times what this is. And so I went on the hunt again, and I bought that expensive one, and I loved it. And I could tell the difference because of the gold fleck that's in it. And so I went on the hunt, and I found this one, and I love this one. This is very, very similar to the really, really expensive one, and it is water-based. So it is super easy cleanup. You can just clean it with soap and water. Your dies or your stamps clean off super easy because this is what we're using. We're using stamps like this. See this little frame right here? That is this stamp. So the ink is applied with a brush to the stamp and then stamped onto your card like this. So it has to be able to, wash off quickly and easily and not ruin your photopolymer or your rubber if you're using a rubber stamp. So that was hugely important. So I tested it, tried it out, and I've used it quite a bit, and I just love, you guys, it's up there with my P.H. Martin white paint. It is a close second. I love this stuff so much. And now there are new frames. So let me show you. This is the set of frames that came out. This came out in the Bible journaling series. And it was for florals, things like that, things that, you know, go into a margin. But these things are really pretty big for Bible journaling. So I have a smaller set. And this is what we did yesterday. So if you're interested in that, check out the tutorial from yesterday, because these are just a little bit smaller and they're a little different. But these are coming back to life now that we have this gold paint. And Barbara says, didn't know you could use it on a stamp. Yes, you can. This one you can. Be careful if you have ink like this. Make sure that it's water-based. But this one you can, and it washes right off. So it is just, it's gold, you guys. It's literally gold. So here is the one from previous, and I think this came out in 2021. And we had it for a long time. Some of you may have this one. And if you do, try it with the gold paint, because here is this stamp right here. And this is it with this beautiful little floral. And it's so classy looking. You could put it on a card just like this. You could put a little sentiment in here, also with gold. So you can, you know, there's something you can just brush it on with a brush. You can do that too. So I'm giving you a sample and showing you how to apply it. And then we're going to be using this in the future, because I'm going to be coming back to this again. Leah is saying, only got gold. Silver and black of this ink is water-based. All the other colors are not. Yes, that is correct. So we are going to test the silver and the black, because the black might be really cool too. So we're going to test those other two. If I love it as much as the gold, then we will make that available to you too. But this stuff is absolutely awesome. And I'm not sure why the other colors aren't water-based, but if they're not, you want to be really, really careful with those, with your stamps. Do a test first, because you won't be able to get it off of the stamp. Okay, so here is the new one. This is the new one. Framework set 2 is 6026. This just came out. And these are both clear stamps, so that it's easy to brush that paint on it and be able to see where it's going. And you can place it right over the top of your image and be able to see exactly where it's going. So Peggy says she's loving the gold. She saw the gold and got the gold at the retreat. So she has been using it probably for a while. And we had so much fun doing these projects with this gold paint, you guys. It's the coolest thing ever. So these two are out. This one has been out for a long time. It is still available. This is the new one. And you can see that it's smaller. The ovals are narrower. The circles are smaller for margins. So whether you're doing Bible journaling or you're just watercoloring in a journal, which you can also do, check those tutorials out, because it's Bible journaling, but you can also do it in lots of other things. I've had people tell me that they have watercolored in old textbooks and old hymn books. And one lady said she had an antique dictionary and she was watercoloring in that. So whatever paper it is, if you prep that paper or you use our watercolor adhesive back paper, you can watercolor on any paper, literally any. So check out that tutorial. We went over these and did a couple of tutorials on this one using this set. So these are now available, those two. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to get to these, and then I'll show you how to apply that gold paint. So let me set that aside for now. We also now have 2 more sets of the scallops. And you can see on here, I used it on this little card, this little scallop oval. I just love these. Especially, I do a lot of layering in journals, especially in journals, but on cards too, I do a lot of layering. And you can see the gold paint on here. It's so pretty. And then, with the scalloped edges. So the outside one is a little bit decorative, more decorative. And then these all inside are scalloped. And you can see they go really narrow. So they're really, really good for journaling. Really, really good for those. All right, so these two are now available. This is 6045 and 6046. So these two, and I'll go back over this again. I know some people have just jumped on, so we'll go over that again. So let me also show you these two that are now out, and let me show you how these work. These are bookmark sets, and they came out in the Bible journaling line, and they're so much fun. So I'm going to show you this one. Let me show you this one first. This is the corner bookmark, and this is what it looks like. So there are two ways to do these, you know, just specifically from the set. And it creates this little corner pocket that just attaches to your page. So let me just show you in a book here. Let me just show you a book here. And it just fits on your page just like this. And it can fit on the top or it can fit on the bottom page too. See, just like this. Oops, that's hung up on something in there. There we go. So it can fit in the bottom just like this. The little floral comes in the set, and then this little cutout for your watercolor paper also comes in the set. So they're super, super easy to use, and they're really fun. So let me just show you how those work really quickly. So when you cut it out, here's the big piece. You cut it out, it looks like this. And then you're just going to score it where you score it. So like this, you're going to score it. This is where it glues down. So if you want something decorative, it also comes with an extra piece that looks like this. So this is an extra piece that can go inside and add a little more decor, or you can put it onto the back side like this, and it could be a little pocket. You could also do a watercolor on the back of this, like this. So you can really layer these things. I just think they're so cute. And then, or you can put the watercolor onto the front like this and place this on the inside. See, like this. Let's just glue this one together just so that you can see. And it's just got one tab to glue, just one. So you just put your ink on there like that, and then just glue it down. It makes a really cute little pocket too. And you've got your little corner, and then you can add your little decorative piece. And this can also be a pocket. So you could tuck something else in here if you just left that top open. And then this just glues in here, and you could probably would have been easier to just glue it before I closed it. But it fits in there like that. Is that cute? So cute. And then your little, wow, you can see I use that for a practice sheet to stamp off. This can glue right here onto the front. And that's how this one works. Isn't that cute? And then see the back. You can see the back. When you turn the page, you're going to see the back of the corner, and you can decorate it as well with this little decorative piece, or you can add more watercolor to the back, however you want to do it. Okay, and then this one comes with the florals. So there's a large one and a small one. And then it also comes with the two little leaves. And you can decorate this one however you want to too. This paper, by the way, is from this set. This is the one that we released, was it last week? I think it was last week we released these. And of course the 4th of July paper that everybody is just dying over. Both of these. Whoops, where's the back to this one? So this is the cover pack right here that goes with this one. And I probably used something out of it and turned that backwards. So let's just look at it really quick. I think I took something out of here and just turned this around. No, let's see. Where is that cover? I've got to show you guys the back. And maybe not. Where did that go? Did you find one, Joel?
No.
Oh well. The paper, take my word for it, the paper on the back is different, and it's just as cute as the paper on the front. Absolutely, just as cute. And this one also has a cover pack. So this is the 4th of July paper. This is available. Diana says, I like the two sizes of flowers you can make, and if you add them to the bigger flower from the gift card holder, you can make some cool bouquets. Yes, oh, how cute. That's a great idea. Love that idea. Yes, great pockets for the journals, Linda says. Yes, agree. You know, I'm always looking for little things to layer or put things in. for sure. So this paper is what I made these cards out of. So this is what I've been using, and the same for the pockets. And look how cute this floral is. It's so pretty. And these little cover packs are so nice. Okay, so that is the corner one. That's this one. And it makes these, you can make as many as you want with these. And they kind of, will just tuck in here like this too. You can just kind of stack them like that. But great gifts, fun to do with your kids or grandkids or neighbors or whoever. This is a full-size bookmark, and it is big because I wanted to be able to add watercolor to it. So here's a sample of that idea. And you can, so it has 3 sizes. This one has this center one that goes in here. This one has this piece that goes here that is a really nice size for a watercolor. And you can see how cute that is. Just really simple. You could do a border also, but you could for sure tuck, a floral in, just a few little vines, and I think it would just, it's so cute. You could add a little gold paint to this too, which we might do, actually. We might just do that. So anyway, it has 2 bookmarks in it, and this came in the Bible journaling line. So it also has some tiny little words in here. It says the words are worship, faithful, and Jesus that are a part of this set. So if you just love bookmarks like I do and want to make bookmarks for your books and journals or your Bible, check these out. Patricia says, did you make the tassels or buy them? Bought them. Bought them for sure. And Amazon, you guys, if you want tassels, Amazon has tons of these little, isn't that cute, little tassel? You could hang some beads on it or a charm, something like that. And this would be such a cute thing to give to someone. Really, really simple. Okay, also along the Bible journaling line of thinking right now, really quickly, we are starting the new quarter. So we had our first live yesterday of the new quarter, and it will be the Water of Life set. So if that's something you're interested in, the set now that will take us through that quarter is available right now on the website. And the scripture verses that go with it, this is available on our website also. So at the very top under Get Inspired, click that, and you'll see the suggested scripture reading. And that is where you'll find this and the scripture cards that are also available on our website. So check that out. And Bible journaling is Tuesday, the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month. So if that's something that you're interested in, come join us. It's so much fun. Okay, let's see. Is there anything I forgot? We now have black in the permanent waterproof ink. So black is now available on our website. So check that out. Let's see. I think maybe I covered everything. Okay, let's get on to our projects then. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be making, and then I'll show you what we're going to be using. So first of all, we're not going to be making this one, but we are going to be making these 2 projects, and then we're going to be applying the gold paint to these. And but I will tell you what this is from. This is from this set right here. So it's from the Floral Long Stem Bouquet Set 5918, and I just colored it in 2 colors. There's a tutorial on this, I'm sure, probably when I put the journal together. There is a tutorial on this, but it is the easiest thing. If you've colored a flower, you're going to color it the exact same way. And actually the flowers on here are very similar, so it's going to be very similar to this. And then I just used that oval frame, and it just really brightened it up. Just so beautiful. So let's set this aside. And this one is from this set, and it's this one right here. So this is the Floral Bouquet Set 5917. It's this little corner one. We're going to be doing this one. And this one, and I picked this because it is great with a circle, an oval, or a square. Either one. So I'm going to show you how to I think what we'll do is we'll change up the design of the frame, just that you could see the 2 different ones, but we'll set it up like it's going to be in a circle. I know that sounds confusing, but you'll see. You'll see, you guys, I promise. Let me first close my ink or my glue. Putting caps on and lids on, it's just, it gets harder all the time. Harder to remember. Um, let's see. Questions, everybody. Grandkids will love the bookmarks. Yes. Bookmarks are great to make with your grandkids. They love to make these and they use them. They love them. Um, Barb says her granddaughter will love the bookmarks. Yes. Yeah, she will. They're so much fun. Okay, so in this one, I went back to this older set. Again, I'm trying to do that, you guys, because there are some great little elements in some of these older sets, and I haven't used them in a long time. I know I've used this one, but I haven't used this one or these two in a long time. So I pulled out this one, and you can do it on either side. So, if you see better going this direction, do this one instead. And if you see better going this way, do this one. So we're going to use a positioner, and we're gonna put that together. In addition, we just need some foliage, and I picked this one because it's got a lot of foliage that can be used. So we're going to use these longer vines here, and then these smaller little, detail ones. These little, I think they're eucalyptus leaves. So we're going to be using that. And you see on the package, here's that frame. Here's that frame. So anything that you see in here, this is another simple thing that you can do. Look how cute that is. Just a little icon in the center, maybe the little teacup or just some little thing, a bird, a little bird on a branch. And then you can make these little things that come out, and then you can just add a little gold frame to it. So this was before we had the gold paint. And so we were just using, a gray ink or embossing, stamp it in a clear and then just emboss it. But now with this ink, you guys, it's so cool. So anyway, that's another really good idea. And these things are in here. So there's lots of greenery in here. There's so much that you can use. See this little palm branch is it's the best, because what you want to do is kind of mix up the textures so you don't have everything that looks exactly the same when you're doing these. Okay, so that one and just this, and that's all. Oh wait, did I tell you? I told you which ones, right? This one, and then these two. And they both swing to the left and the right, which is really, really nice. Okay, so let's set this away, and let's start out with this one. And here's what I did, and let me just zoom in a little bit here. Is I start out with a circle, because you can what you're doing is you're rounding a corner, or you're putting something that's on the side. So starting out with a circle sort of gives you that that image of kind of rounding a corner. And then you can place your frame, whichever frame that you want to use, over it, and you can see exactly where that's going to go. So you can see you can easily use a square frame with this as well. You could easily come up like this and put it more in the corner. If you were going to put a sentiment in here, like a thinking of you or a happy birthday or something like that, you could put this right in the corner. You can see what I did with this one. I used this one. You could also use an oval, see, like this one, and you can see where it's going. You could move it up to the center and move it over a little bit like this. You could include this all the way inside and bring it down here. So do you get what I'm saying? As far as positioning the frames, you can put it wherever you want to put it. So we're going to use a stamp platform to stamp the gold paint on. That's what we're going to use is the stamp platform, because if you miss a spot, you can go back and add a little bit more gold to it. And here's the thing about it. So this is actually what the frame looks like. And you can see how straight the lines are. The lines are really straight, and they're continuous, all of these. But when you add the paint to it, they get a little blotchy. They get blotchy and they look way more artsy. And I think that just adds to it so much. Changing that up and not seeing the lines continuously around and super straight and smooth. I think it just adds to the whole look of it and the whole watercolor look of it, because this to me looks like a watercolor painting. There's no way anybody would know that you put this together with stamps. There's just no way, because it has that watercolor look. So Kristen says, are those flower sets in the encouragement bundle? Leah, are you on to answer that? I believe they are. I believe they are, because they came out with the encouragement journal. So, Leah, would you see if you can answer that question? I'm saying yes, but you know what? I could be wrong. So I think they are. Um, Julie says I'll have to go back to work. We'll definitely finish this later. Julie, we totally understand. We'll put your name in the drawing, definitely, and praying for Ruth Ann. Yes. 5266 greenery invites using the gold paint. Okay, Consuelo, that is exactly what I thought too. Is the greenery invites. So those of you who don't know what those are, they came out again a few years ago, and it is a series of stamps so that you can make all of the pieces to an invitation, a save the date, you're invited, a thank you, all those elements that go into a shower or a wedding. And you can make those, and all the stamps are included. And then there is, I'm sure, a tutorial on how to stamp those. But they're super simple. It's just greenery. It's just leaves and greenery. But the gold paint with those would be just absolutely beautiful. Would be absolutely beautiful. I would just class it up. It really does. It's not, and I have a gold pen. I have a gold pen and a silver pen. It is nothing like a gold pen. It's nothing like that. It has a shimmer to it, and you can see the gold in it. It's absolutely beautiful stuff. So, Joel, will you, okay, Leah is saying, okay, she just posted on here. Somebody asked if the florals that I'm using are in the encouragement journal, or the encouragement bundle. So it looks like they are. Let me see which one that is. So 5918 and 5917. Yep, they both are. Yes, they both are in that bundle. Okay, so let's continue on here. So you can see, basically you can see where to position everything, but it's easier if you start with a circle. For me it is. And I just pencil in a circle that's sort of the size of what I'm going to be using. And then when I get ready to add my frame and I've decided where it's going to go, I erase the circle. And then I stamp the frame. So you don't have to mess with the circle, afterwards. Okay, so we're going to be using these. All right, so let's move this aside. And let's decide where we're going to go with this. We're going to use a positioner because, especially when you're starting out with these, it doesn't take any time to just stamp it use a positioner to stamp it, because it will just save you a lot of paper, messing up. And sometimes, when you're doing these little things, and especially with this one, we're not using the whole stamp. And this little floral, it's long. It's long. See the stem on this? We don't need this whole thing. So we're just going to use a part of it. And I'm just going to, and it's okay. If you're not using this part, it's okay if it hangs off your block. I do this literally all the time. Sometimes they're hanging off this far, and it doesn't bother me at all. So don't feel like you have to have, the correct size block for literally everything. Okay, so we've got this stamp on here, and these are the ones leaning to the right. So that means the stamp is the opposite. Debbie, your name will be in the drawing for sure. So will yours, Linda. Everybody, you guys post on here. If you want to win one of these little projects, you will be in the drawing. Okay, so let's use the little positioner, and it's always kind of a good reminder too on how to use these things, because they're really handy, and they're super small, easy to take with you if you're going somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're just going to ink part of this. So I'm going to grab my green, and I'm going to ink the stems. And because it's going to go around in a circle, not straight down, I don't need this whole stem. So I'm just going to ink just to where the two leaves kind of connect. So you can see 4 things kind of connect at this point. That's as far down as I'm going to go. And then I'm going to hit the blooms. This is purple, so 636, and that was the 177 green. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp this in the corner, just like that. And now I can see exactly where I am going to place this. And I'm gonna put it right here between where the circle is. As it's kind of coming down, because I think we'll change it up and use something different than this. So maybe that oval. So I'm going to place the circle right in between the two florals. Let me zoom in a little closer. So you can see that circle, that pencil line is just going to be right in between those two florals. So just like this. And then I'm going to put this back. And I'm going to just re-ink it again. And when you're using the dark colors, it's not a bad idea to just clean it off just so that you don't get the colors too dark. So I just have a wet paper towel, or I usually use a baby wipe or something like that, and just clean it off when you've got a lot of ink on it still. And especially this purple can get really, really dark. So again, I'm just inking it to that little, whoops, and I was off camera, just inking it to that little point. And then we'll do the blooms. Be careful you don't move your positioner, that it's staying in the right place. And then I just, put my 2 fingers on it like this, and then just stamp it, right in here. And I've got it in a really good position. Okay, so now I'm going to place 2 more, and I'm going to just move them down a little bit. See how they're together, but these are just kind of coming in a little bit, and they're just dropped down a little lower than this one. And it doesn't, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you kind of want to offset it a little bit. So now I'm going to put this back. And I think I can just huff on this and stamp this back in here, and I'll get a pretty good second impression. There we go. So now you can see we've got it really pretty much exactly where we want it. And this position of these florals will work for a lot of different frames. So squares, just whatever. You can also brush on. So don't forget that. You can just brush it right onto your art with a brush. Let's see. You guys are all added to the drawing. Absolutely. Be sure to put that in the comments. All right, so now let's keep going, and then we'll add the water kind of all at once. So now we're going to do these 2 larger vines that are right here, and we're not going to need the whole thing again. So we're just going to maybe ink down to this point, and I'm going to use my positioner again just to make sure. And like I said, this will save you paper. Because especially when I'm doing these things, I will forever get it in the wrong place at the very end. And I just think all the time, why don't I just use the positioner? Because that would have just saved me. And then I got to start all over again. So you guys, I make mistakes all the time. And I have to start over again. Many, many, many times. Rarely do I get it right the first time. Rarely. But, learning, when you do these things and you make the mistakes, you really learn a lot too on how to fix it, how to fix it, and or how to toss it. Sometimes we just toss it because we can't fix it. But how to correct it. What to do when you mess up like that. So I'm gonna I think this is probably pretty good right here. Maybe I just want to turn it in just a little bit, but you can kind of play around with it a little bit. Let's just turn it in like this. And I think I can huff on it. And then let's do another one, and we're going to swing this one out the other way. So here's this one, and it's just going to swing out. And it's going to be shorter, so we don't need to. Actually, let's do the positioner on this one too. So I'm still on the screen here. You got 4 corners, you guys. So I use all the corners. I use all the corners, and then I have multiple plexiglasses too for my stamps that stay on the blocks. Okay, so now we can take this little, and you see how much smaller this one is. So it's just going to kind of swing out a little bit just to add a little interest. And we're going to put this on here. And you can see, you can count. So we're at 1, 2, 3, and then the point. So we're going to do this one. Let's just ink this one up again. So 1, 2, 3, and then the point. Okay, and there we go. So we've kind of got the basis of it. And pretty much it's what's on the bottom and what's on the top. That's pretty much it. And then you can kind of fill it in with something that's a little bit, more interesting, that looks a little different. Like that palm leaf or these little guys that are much thinner and smaller. So we're gonna put some of these in, and these are both going 2 different directions, so we can swing them out or in. And I'm gonna just change this up a little bit. I'm gonna make these blue. So the 526, and I'm gonna just they were probably green, but that's okay. And we'll just, you know, swing these out a little bit, and then we can, it's always fun to change it a little bit so you can get a comparison, because you're not locked into these colors. You're not locked into these at all. Now we can go out here, and we're gonna swing this one out, you know, just like this. We'll bring it out like that. And then this one can just come out like that. And you've got a cute little composition. Composition is the word. Okay, so let's add some water now to it. So I'm just dipping my brush in water, pinching it off, and let's just start with the leaves here, and we're just kind of dabbing at them. Where everything connects is going to be pretty blended together. But see the colors, you know, seeing that blue and green kind of come together. And then you can just kind of hit these a little bit where the leaves are. We want these to stay pretty detailed, so they kind of pop out like an accent. And then these two, kind of keep those more more detailed. And then if you want to, you can add a little bit of, you know, blue in the background. So let's get these little florals, and always try to, even these little florals that are pretty dark, try to leave some white areas so they don't look like, you know, just dark purple blobs. But isn't that cute? That's such a cute composition. And then let me just move everything over to the side and grab my palette. And this type of thing is so simple. And actually you could change everything up. You could leave the florals, and you could add different greenery. You could do this greenery, this combination of greenery, and add different flowers to the top. So you can totally change it up. You can also bring this down and then do another one on the other side that would just kind of mirror it, or a smaller version of it. You know, maybe just, you know, 1 or 2 flowers kind of hanging down, and then maybe, you know, just a few little leaves. So you can do a mirror image of it and then run your frame all the way through it, which would just be so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, so let's add just a little bit of color. So you can see on this one is cooler. I didn't add the warm blue on that one, and I kept the greenery green. So I used the blue, the cool blue, for the background, which is the 565. And in this one, because I used that warm brown, I'm gonna add a warm green, or warm blue. What are your colors, Bonnie? I'm gonna just add a little bit more of the blue in here into the background, and just pull a little bit, you know, more of that color out. Okay, so now this one's good to go. I'm gonna set this aside, and then we'll do the other floral, and then we'll do the frames all at once. Okay, so let's set this one aside, let that dry. And let's go on to this one. And I went ahead and stamped it. You can also change up the colors, you know, however you want to. This one is from this set right here. So it's this little one here. And I picked this one because it works great with a corner. It works great with a corner like this, because it is kind of a square bottom, you know, like this. So, but you can also switch it up. So if you left this off, this leaf off, you can see how this would round a corner. And now you could use it as an oval, just by leaving this one leaf off. So kind of keep in mind how these things look and how they're shaped, just by leaving something off. You could also leave off this whole thing and do this simple little combination, or leave this here and do it in a little circle, a little gold circle. It'd just be so cute. Okay, so, you know, just try to always think about thinking outside the box. So I use 2 colors with this one. I use the 407. Blue and yellow together are just, they're so cute. 993, yellow and blue. And they work great together. So I'm going to start out with the lighter color, And you know, we're pulling the color from where it's the darkest, and that would be where the petals connect. So we're dragging this out, and this is how you would do that other floral, the floral that was on the card. So this one right here. This is the same way you would do it this way. And by the way, I stamped these all in the color that they are. So I used my stamp positioner, and I literally stamped every color individually. So I started with the yellow, stamped those two, then I inked the blue, stamped those two, and then I added the green. And then nothing dries out by the time you're ready to stamp it. If you're stamping it on a block and you're coloring each thing, so you're going to the yellow, you're coloring the yellow, and then you're going to the blue, and then you're going to the green, by the time you're done, something's gonna be dried out on it, even if you huff on it. So it really kind of works to do that. And just ink one section at a time. And maybe you guys do that all the time, but that's kind of a new thing for me to learn. I kind of learned that the hard way. And some of you probably already know that and have been doing it for years. So my hat's off to you, because that was really a game changer for me. And you know, a stamp platform, stamp positioner is just, it's a must. And now, you know, when I got mine, there wasn't really any to pick from. I got the Misty because that was really the only one out there. But there are other ones now that are less expensive than that. And I've had mine for years and years. Okay, so we're just pulling the color out of the lines. Like literally, that's what we're doing. Pulling the color out of the lines. And let's do the green. You can actually color over these lines, the details in the leaves, because they will still show. They'll still show up. So you can do that. We'll get these little stems in. Keep them pretty thin. And then go back in again and get a little more color in here. And I'm kind of mixing this blue a little bit just to change up the color. This is the, I should say, this is the 526. But I stamped it in, inked it in the 407. But adding, you know, some different colors, it makes it so that it's not so uniform. And I'm just adding another bit, and you know, at the bottoms, and you can see where I'm applying the color. The color is in the darkest area, where it would be the darkest. Now see this one back here, this is kind of in the shadow, so it can be a little darker back here. And anything on the bottom, you know, when you're looking at the florals, and this is the bottom, that's where the light is, that's where it's going to be the darkest, is kind of at the bottom. And then let's add just a little more yellow to those other florals, and this is 993, and this is what I stamped it in too. And really, you know, the rules are pretty simple with florals. You know, obviously they're darkest where they connect, and then lightest at the top, the edge of the petal, because that's where the light's catching. And really, if you can just remember those two things, you'll be good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to take my my bullet tip, and I'm just going to add a little darker color in here where the center is, just to really kind of darken this up. Yellow is such a light color. And if you have any little petals that maybe kind of got lost, you can add a little detail to those too. Same with this one. I'm going to take this is a 407 now. And I'm just going to add a little details kind of around the center. Just kind of touch it. Like so. And then let's do a little bit more green. Let's do a little bit more green on the leaves, and that is the 177. And just add a little more in here. And you know, you can add another coat too. If you really want these darker, just keep going. Just keep going, add more color. Just always try to remember to keep some of those areas lighter. Okay, so we are finished with that one now. And we are ready to add the frames to these, you guys. Just the funnest thing to do. All right, so now let's get the stamp platform, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what's happening here. All right. So I'm going to place my project in here like this. And it's going to be easier for me to show you if I turn it. So I'm going to turn it like this, but first I'm going to decide what thing I'm going to use. So we did this one on the sample. So let's do an oval right here. Let's use the oval. And we're going to just turn it. And again, you can move it so more of this is on the inside, or you can move it, you know, so it's down, kind of coming off the edge like this. But I think this is probably good. Now you can also make it come all the way through your image. So you can see in this one, that's what I did. So you can see the line comes all the way through the image like this. In this one, I left it open. So this one doesn't come all the way through. So that's just a preference. That's just going to be a preference for you. If you want that gold to come all the way through your image, up to you. Here's the difference. So let's do that with this one. Let's bring that gold all the way through, and then you can kind of decide which way you like it the best. So once we've got it positioned on there, that looks pretty good. That's exactly where I want it to go, and it looks pretty straight. So now I'm going to close the lid, and I'm going to erase the pencil line. So now I'm just going to take this off. And just erase this off of here. And this is all dry, so I won't be smearing anything, hopefully. Okay, so got our little, flower in here. So now we're going to do the paint. And I'm going to just, because I'm going to stuff everywhere. Sometimes I'm just a disaster waiting to happen. No kidding. I'm dumping something over or dropping it on the floor or something. So I need to have a good workspace here. All right, so I'm using my number 4 brush to add the paint. So let's move everything else out of the way, and I'm going to just prop this up a little bit so that you can see. And maybe it would help. Let's see if we put white under it. Will that help you? I think so. Let's just put the white under it like this. So okay, so the first thing is always shake it, and really shake it. And you can see the bottom where it settles on the bottom. And here's the other thing that I noticed is when I clean my brush off, now I have special water that I use just for the gold on my brush because it settles to the bottom, and the water is clear. So you know what? When the water is gone, I'm just going to collect all that gold and put it back in my jar. So there you go. There's a tip for you guys. But it settles to the bottom because of that gold fleck that's in it. Okay, so shaking this all up really good. You can see that it's, shaken up from the bottom now. And just keep going. Good arm exercises. Okay, looks pretty good. You can also stir it. If you've got a little stir stick. Sometimes I use the back side of my brush, and I'll stir it up like that. But you just want to make sure that it's really mixed up. And then have your brush ready. So dip your brush in water, and then you're going to pinch it off just like we normally do. So it's going to be a little bit wet. Then you're going to open the jar like this, and you're going to take that paint that's on the top, especially with all the gold fleck in it. And there's, it's on the lip too of the jar. Mine is always. And you're going to just literally brush it on like this. You don't have to be careful. And especially if you're using your stamp platform, you can go back over it again. You know, if you miss a spot or you want it to, you know, a little bit darker, you can go back over it. So I'm just getting all of this on here. Making sure I get enough of this gold. Okay? And then we're going to take that and we're going to just stamp it over the top. Press down, and then you have your gold ring. Now you can see here that it's a little bit light in here. If you want to add a little bit more, you can. You can totally add a little bit more. You know, I don't really mind it too much in here that it's really light. I might add a little bit down in this section and a little bit up here in the top because that looks a little light on the top. So remember that you're doing it backwards here. So this section is actually this section right here. So we're just gonna take a little bit more of this, of the gold paint, and just add it down here into this section. Did I get it right? Yeah, that's up here. That's actually up here. That's why the stamp platform is really nice, because you can just go back over it again. So see, there we got more of that. And then, you know, you can also just take your brush and just put a little bit in here too. You know, if you want to do it like that, especially down in here. And I think that's good. I like it like that. I think that's so cute. Barbara, my favorite words, you don't have to be careful. Yes, me too. You know what? If it's not easy, forget it. Forget it. It's got to be easy. It's got to be a quick cleanup. It's got to be an easy application, or forget it. It's not going to happen. But wow, is this ever a win-win with this stuff? I just love it. And I think it adds so much to it that it's just a little blotchy. You know, it's not just so pretty. That would just be such a pretty card. And then, you know, of course you can, if you have really nice handwriting, you know, you can just add, you know, some, you know, cute little thing on here, and see, you can just go back in. You could also, you know, add a little green, or add a little, few little dots in here, a few little gold dots. You can just add a little bit to your florals. It just adds a shimmer to it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's so cute. Okay, that's it. That's like literally, that's how easy it is. Okay, so we're gonna take this off. This I would just put under my faucet with a little soap, and it's clean. Same with my brush. So easy to clean off. Now this, because I used it with the gold paint, I'm gonna clean it off in that water that has the gold paint. Okay, so now before we do the next one, we're gonna shake this up again, because it's so important to get that gold fleck to the top. So you really, really want to do that. Here's one that I found that I had done before, a long, tall one like this, and I thought, let's do the tall, that tall frame. And where did I put it? Okay, here it is. So this one, and I thought this would be just perfect for a, you know, a little project like this. Look how cute that is. So let's just see how this one looks. And especially in a margin, you know, if you're doing, you know, something in a margin. Okay, so now, and it doesn't, there's nothing for me to erase on this one. So I'm going to make sure my paint is mixed up again. Make sure that's really mixed up. And you know, I always look at the bottom to see if I can see the water through the paint. And if not, if it's really settled in there and you haven't used it for a while, just stir it. Just get a stir stick, and that's the easiest way. Okay, so now we're going to take this gold just off the top, just right off the top, and we're going to just brush it on. I mean, you can't mess it up, you guys. You literally can't. And you know, doesn't matter if it gets down inside. You know, that there's water down in these, you know, valleys down under here. That doesn't matter at all. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, that is so cute. And I think I want to add a little bit more to the sides, but look how cute that is. Tony, you are in the drawing. Imagining this gold frame around poinsettias and greenery. Yes, Catherine. Yes, you can go back to some of your things that you have, which is what I've done, especially with the Bible journaling. I've gone back to some of my projects and I've added gold paint to them because it's amazing. Sherry says, you amaze me with how you elevate your paintings for us to learn. You guys, I got to share it. I got to share it with you. If I find something really cool like this, I got to share it. And I also love that it's just, you don't have to mortgage your house to buy it. Honestly, it's not that bad and it'll last forever. So that's the other thing. It'll last you forever. So I'm going to shake this up again just because. And then I'm going to hit it again, especially on the sides. And then, you know what I would suggest that you do is do a practice one before you do it on your project. So, just get a scratch piece of, watercolor paper and practice putting it on and seeing how it looks. So obviously you don't want it too wet, where it's all just blotchy all over. So just do a practice and you'll get a feel for it immediately. And then add it to your project. So I think on here is where I just really want to get a little bit more, is on the sides. So let's see what we've got here. Oh yeah. That is so cute. I love this one. And I think I'm going to hit it just maybe right in the middle of this one. Just get a little bit more right there. Yep. And that blotchy look just adds so much. It just adds so much. Okay, so the lid is on. And let's look at it. That is so cute. Now, what you can do also with this one is you can add some detail to the little vase. So shake it up again. You can obviously add some to the petals, that you're doing here, but you could add a little detail here, a little gold. Add a little gold detail to the vase, which is so cute. And maybe you just have like some other little details on here. And then in here, so where you're going to be adding the gold paint is where the light would be catching, on the flowers. So kind of on the tips mostly. But you know what? Honestly, don't stress about it. If I turn it the right way, I think you guys can see that shimmer, but it's so beautiful. Just the prettiest thing. I love that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And let's move this aside. Set this aside, put the top on. And where is the other one that we did? Where did that go? Oh, maybe it's right here. Yep, here it is. Okay, so let's do this one. And what did I use before? I used this shape, six-sided. No, what did I use with this one? I used the square. So let's change it up. Let's change this one up and let's use the six-sided one on this one. And I think we can just fit it right here. I think we can fit it just like that. And again, you could move it all the way out to the outside if you want to, but I think it will be really cute just kind of right here in the middle. So let's close it. Is that straight? No, it's not straight. So let's go like this. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to shake this up again. Shake it up really good. And you don't have to be careful about putting this on. You can see that gold fleck right at the top, and that's what you want to grab, is that gold fleck. And then just brush it on. And you know, just get it on there. Let's get a little more on here, this side. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, that's really cute. But see, I missed some spots here. So I'm going to go back and get this little section again and on the top. And then it looks like I missed a little bit down here on this side. So that would be over here. So we're going to get that side. Yes, and then also on the top up here. So let's just get... Wait, was that the bottom? No, it's this one. It's this one down here. Okay, there we go. Oh, so cute. The gold and the yellow together. Really pretty. Okay, so I just added a little bit there and, you know, just a tiny bit here. Just kind of finish it off. And then you could take some of this and you could add a little bit to the centers of the flowers. It's kind of like the white paint in that it doesn't bleed. You know, when you put it on here, the color doesn't bleed through, even though it's water-based. Make just a few little dots in here, just 'cause. And, you know, you can do the same here. And you could use a smaller brush too than what I'm using. But how cute is that? Okay, so now I'm going to clean my brush off with my gold water. This is gold water. And the nice thing about it when you're using this is that the water on top is clear. And so when you go to clean off your brush, you know, this is all like clean in here. And it all kind of moves to the side. And so you can get your brush really clean. And then all that gold just settles to the bottom. Tap it off and pinch it off and you're good to go. Let's do one more little thing. Let's do one more little thing before we close this up. But can you guys just like look at this? Just so cute. Let's just admire the gold paint for another 15 minutes, shall we? Oh, it's just so much fun. Now this could also have been the oval, it could have been the circle, either way. And remember what I said about leaving this little leaf off, then you'll really have this rounded edge. And you can also mirror it on the other side. So right across the top, you can absolutely do that. Look how pretty that is. It's so beautiful. So here are all the samples that we made. And you can see the difference, you know, with the oval. Just like this. Here's this one. So pretty. And here's this one. And so just the quickest, easiest, fastest thing ever to do. So let's move this aside. And again, run these under just a little soap and water and they will just wash off. And I've left mine overnight and they still washed off great, just with a little bit of soap. I just want to show you how to make these simple little things for that pocket bookmark. So let's just zoom in really quick and I'll show you this. This is the easiest thing. When you're making, you just need a little tiny watercolor. Just pick a floral, you know, a small little floral and just ink it up. Let's use the 555. Okay, let's use this one. So ink the blooms, ink the stem, And you don't need the whole thing. If you don't have a lot of space, don't ink the whole stem. And then just literally, you can do it this way too. So when you're using the bookmark, and you're putting it in the corner, it looks upside down to do it this way. But when you're looking at it like this, it's right side up. So if you want it to, you know, be right side up like this, you just want to turn it and do it the opposite way. So in other words, you want it to face the corner like this. See, these two are opposite. So it would just look like this. Oh, that blue just goes perfectly with that too. So it would just be like that. So it's kind of your preference. So just stamp it on here, just maybe 2 times, just like that. And then add a little bit of water to it. And the water will just, you know, activate that color. And then just add a little bit to the leaves. And then add a little bit to the sky. So let's grab. So you can just take a little bit of this blue and just kind of add it into the sky. You got just a cute little watercolor painting. When you need a tiny little one for something. And then just add, you know, some kind of simple foliage. Like, you know, maybe one of these. Yep, that's what I used on there. So just ink this up and just tap it in maybe just a couple of times. And that's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. And you don't even have to add any water to that. Now you've got a cute little watercolor that you can just put anywhere. You could put a little gold circle around it too. That would be really cute. And it can go this way. So when you put this in on your page, you know, up here in the corner, it's going to be right side up. Sherry says, "Love the book corners. Can't believe I missed that live." Check it out, Sherry. It's all archived on the website, so you can see it all on there. But they're so much fun. So let me just do a quick recap of everything because there's a lot. So first of all, the gold paint. This is available on the website right now. It's the Winsor Newton Gold, and it's gold. It is gold. You will love that. Then the 2 die sets are new, and these are the 2 bookmark dies. So the corners, and then this one, the big bookmark like this that has the cutout for the watercolor, so that you could do a watercolor on it. That's this little die right here that's in the center. And of course you can layer them however you want to. You could use this one as the watercolor too. So here's an idea for you on how to do that. So those 2. Then the new frame set. So let me zoom out here. We're just in too close. So the new frame set, and then don't forget about the old one. If you've got the old one, get that thing out and use those frames because it is a good one. And now that we've got the gold paint, it's going to be so much fun to use. So this is the new one. 6026 is the new one. This is the older one, 5420, framework set 1. The dies are 6042 and 6043. And then also available now are the scallops. So the nested oval and the nested circle are now available. So those. Also available, the black permanent ink. We've had Stays On for years, but we have switched over to Ranger now. And so we have that on the web. Oh, you guys. We have that on our website right now. So available right now. Don't forget about the paper. The paper is new. These are the new ones. This is what I used on the samples that I made, is this paper pack right here. So there is a cover pack, and then there is the 6x6. And this is called Bible Journaling Series 1 paper pack. And then also the 4th of July pack, which is a winner. This is a win-win-win paper pack. It is just the cutest. These are cover sheets. So that just means that they're longer, and there are 6 designs double-sided. So this is a front back, this is a front back, and this is a front back in here. And there are 12 sheets total in there. For those of you who are following on Bible journaling, this is the set. It's available now if you haven't gotten it already on our website. It's the Water of Life set 6055. The suggested Bible reading is available on the website right now, so you can print that off. Go to Get Inspired, and you'll see it on there. Let's see. What else am I missing? Joel, what am I missing?
Got it.
Did I get it all? Okay, you guys. Thank you so much. Let me switch over so that I can say hi and goodbye to all my people out there. And okay, you guys, that was fun. This is a fun one. This was a fun release. Lots of little things, but really fun things that will go together. And the gold paint, you guys, this is how I felt when the white paint came out. And I wanted to use it on literally everything. So that's how I feel about it. Winsor Newton, big, accolades to you. And this has probably been out forever, but new to us and new to me. So I just love it so much. And I think you guys are just going to love it. So check that out. Check out everything is available on our website right now. And you guys have a wonderful 4th for those of you who are from the U.S. And those of you who are not from the U.S., have a great 4th anyway, just 4th of July. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week. And you guys, check out the replay. If you're just joining us, check out the replay. Lots of new things and tutorials for you guys to check out. Okay, you guys, with that, I will be closing up, and I'll see you next week for Watercolor Wednesday. And Throwback is also next week, so check that out. And you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you